Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Mine is, and we have a really awesome video today, guys. First, we're starting off with Team EnVyUs. They have signed the Envision Contenders roster. They will now be competing under Team Envy in Contenders North America. Super exciting news for those guys. We're also going to be covering a ton of news from Overwatch World Cup. There's been a lot of team announcements we haven't covered yet, like Australia, Switzerland, and even more. We're going to get into those rosters, as well as that, guys. Team Korea's roster will be announced tomorrow, and Team USA's roster will be announced on July 4th. Super exciting, guys. I can't wait to see those two rosters. And also, didn't Jane say that Team Canada's roster was going to be announced on July 1st? I honestly haven't seen the announcement anywhere. I don't know if I'm missing it, guys, but I don't know where it is. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this video. It's going to be a fiery one today, boys. If you're new around here, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch content, and hell, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So starting off with the Envision Team Envy mashup. This is absolutely crazy, and I'm super excited for these players because last week it was just looking absolutely grim for them. These players went from being signed to an actual professional org with salary every single month, and it was pretty decent salary, guys. I'm not going to say how much they were making, but trust me, it was good money. So going from making that money to making absolutely nothing and being a free agent team, it's pretty scary. So I know those guys were definitely worried and probably stressing out, and now there's probably nothing to stress out about because you're playing for Team EnVyUs, an Overwatch team with so much history. I mean, there actually might be a little bit stress about them trying to live up to the team that EnVyUs once was in Overwatch, because these guys were super successful, man. Honestly, Team EnVyUs prior to the Overwatch League is the most successful team in Overwatch history, 100%. Honestly, this video that Team Envy posted on their Twitter says it all. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it real quick.
Hey guys, how are we doing this morning? It's time for another day in the office. Rise and shine! Apex Season 1 trophy. You're looking beautiful as always. Overwatch Contenders. First place, Season 1. You know what? I think we need another one of these.
Okay, I gotta give props to Hastro and Team Envy for this one. That was pretty funny and awesome. And if you guys want to check out the rest of this highlight video, they basically show clips of all the players from Buds to McGravy. I'll leave the link to the tweet down below. And wow, again, just amazing news for these players. I'm super excited. If you guys didn't know it, Envision, they made it to top 4 in North America last season. They did compete at that finals LAN event in Poland. They did lose to Toronto Esports in the semifinals, who eventually went on into the finals and lost to Philadelphia Fusion University. So, you know, they weren't the best, but they still made top 4, and that's a solid performance, especially when in the quarterfinals they did take out NYXL2, and that was a pretty stacked roster who we all thought was going to perform really well in Season 1. I do think, you know, them not having Nene in North America, he played on 220 ping the entire season, probably had an impact, and they have made some roster changes, so they maybe had some problems with Midnight and all that stuff. Regardless though, this isn't a video about them, it's about Envision, and they had a pretty damn good run during Season 1. So these guys are actually a really strong roster, and for Hastro to say, hey, I want another trophy, I want to win a Contenders trophy, that says a lot. And to be honest, I mean, I know Envision was paying these guys good, but the difference from being on Envision and Team Envy when it comes to like a structure standpoint, having coaches, analysts, just more money, these guys are probably going to have a house or team apartments in Dallas now. At least that's my guess, because almost every single Contenders roster has a house or team apartments. And I know Envision didn't have a house. They did do boot camps here and there, but they never officially lived together and had that just team environment where they were 24/7 grinding together. So I really do think this takes Envision, or I guess progressed Team Envy now to that next level, and these guys are going to be a serious competitor when it comes to Season 2 contenders. I'm super stoked, guys. And as for Team Envy, I mean, this was just a great move. They picked up a really solid contenders team. They are now the 8th North American Overwatch League team with a contenders or academy team. So now they can, funnel young and up and coming talent through their contenders and academy team straight to the Overwatch League, which is definitely really smart. If you look at the Philadelphia Fusion roster, these guys have a really amazing young talent, and once they turn 18, they're going to be superstars walking into the Overwatch League. Look at somebody like EnVyUs and Alarm. These guys are absolutely deadly, and teams are going to want them. Teams are going to need them, and they will either cough up a ton of money for them, or Philadelphia Fusion will just throw them on their roster and they're going to dominate there. So now Envy has the opportunity to do the same thing that those Academy and Overwatch League teams are doing. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, super exciting again. Happy for the players. I'm glad they have a home. I think they're going to have a solid run throughout Season 2. You guys let me know down below. Are you glad that the EnVyUs team name is back into Overwatch? Do you think these guys are going to be good in the next season of Contenders? Let's talk about it. And now let's move on and talk about some Overwatch World Cup rosters that we have missed over the past couple weeks. So actually, Team Switzerland has not announced their roster. It's Team Germany and Team Australia we're going to look at today. Let's just go ahead and start off with Team Germany. First, we have Mete. Now, Mete is pretty damn experienced when it comes to the contenders level play. Mete has played in all 3 seasons of Overwatch European Contenders, Season 0, Season 1, and then the second Season 1. All 3 of these he played with Bazooka Puppies. Prior to that, he played for Complexity a little bit, as well as Team LDLC before that too. So really experienced player here, not at the highest level, but still some pro experience. Moving on to the next guy, we have Nex. Now, Nex isn't as experienced as Mete, but he does have a decent amount of tournament experience. He's playing for Leftovers right now in North American Contenders. He got first place in Trials for Season 2. He also competed in some Pit Championships, Contender Season 1 with Leftovers, as well as some ESL Cups in Europe. So decently experienced. Moving on to the next guy, we have Progi. Now, Progi is pretty experienced too, not at the highest level, but he did play with Open Division Team Rocket Esports when they won Season 1. He also played for a bunch of other teams. I can't find too much information on him because his Wikipedia page isn't up, but he is pretty experienced. Now he's playing for Leftovers in Contenders Season 2. Moving on to the next guy, we have Terens, who is probably one of the least experienced tanks on this roster. He's played for some decent teams here in ESL Cups. Nothing too serious though, and that's going to be the tank players for Germany. Moving on to the DPS players, starting off with Cranks. This guy actually played for Team Germany last year. Unfortunately, they didn't get very far though. Besides that, he's played for some Rivalcade tournaments, some ESL Cups. Not super experienced, but he is a high ladder player. Moving on to the next DPS player, we have Massey. Now, this guy I couldn't find too much information on, just seems like a ladder player. Did play in Contenders Trials last season, got 8th place. Other than that, not too much information. Moving on to the next guy, we have Nesh. Now, Nesh is pretty damn good. He competed in the most recent Contenders Trial Season 2, got first place. He plays for Snakes, and they are going to be in Contenders Season 2 for Europe. And he also played for Bazooka Puppies in Europe Season 1 and the actual Contenders Season 1. So he has a lot of Contenders experience. Very similar to Mete, he also competed for Laser Kittens, Team Germany last year. So overall, him and Mete, probably the most experienced players on this team. And their last DPS player's name is Addy, ADI. Literally doesn't even have a Twitter. I have no idea who this guy is. I'm just going to guess he's a ladder player. And that's it for their DPS players. Now moving on to the support players, starting off with Immortal. This guy is a main support and in-game leader for the Copenhagen Flames. Pretty decent player here. He does have some experience. Moving on to the next guy, we have Kodak, who also plays for Six Snakes along with Nesh, so they have that team experience there. Pretty good player here, solid moving into Contender Season 2. Moving on to the next guy, we have Tails, pretty decent, not too much experience, does have some team play, but not a lot. And the very last support player for Team Germany is going to be Zenlon. I think that's how you pronounce it. No experience really, just a Lucio player. Pretty much a ladder guy, and that's Team Germany, guys. So overall, they're definitely more experienced than Team Poland, but compared to like Team Sweden, they lack that overall league experience when it comes to the highest level. I do think though there is a good combination of players here, some teammates from Snakes, some teammates from Bazooka Puppies. These guys could be pretty good and possibly make top 8 even further. So that's going to be it for Team Germany, guys. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk about Team Australia. Now, Team Australia is pretty simple, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their players come from Blank Esports, who has pretty much been the overall best Australian team for the past 2 years. They've had some competition here and there, but honestly, no one has really come close to beating them. One big player they do have, though, is Custa. That's something a lot of people forget. Custa, who plays for the LA Valiant, is Australian, the only Australian player in the Overwatch League, and honestly, one of the best players in the Overwatch League, voted an all-star. He is going to help this Australian World Cup team be super strong. So let's just go ahead and go down the list, starting off with Trill. He plays for Blank, solid tank player, has a lot of experience. Moving on to the next guy, we have Quats. Couldn't find too much information about him. I guess he'll be probably the substitute tank. Moving on to the off tanks, we have Adam S. Again, from Blank Esports, pretty solid player. Moving on to the next off tank, we have Punk. He plays for Darksided in the Oceanic scene. Pretty good team, pretty good player. Moving on to the DPS, we have I Eat Up, plays for Blank. Next DPS player, Huss, plays for Blank. Third DPS player also plays for Blank. So 3 of their DPS players come from Blank, the strongest team in Australia. Moving on to the next DPS player, we have Yuxta. Now, I couldn't find any information about this guy. He also doesn't have a Twitter, so we're going to move on to the support players. We have Tung from Blank Esports. After that, we have a Kraken. He plays for Sydney Drop Bears in Australian Contenders. Pretty solid player. Next guy, we have Custa. Already mentioned him. And moving on to the very last player, we have Bertlog, who is also from Drop Bears, Sydney team in Australian Contenders. So overall, pretty solid team. It's similar to last year, bunch of Blank players, Custa. I think they'll be pretty damn good. Their coach is Gunba, who was an Overwatch League coach at one point. So I think Australia overall has a decent chance of going probably top 8, maybe a little bit further. They did drop to Team Canada last year, so it'll be interesting seeing if they try to get revenge. And that's pretty much it for Team Australia, guys. And now moving on to these announcements that were made for South Korea and Team USA, guys. I'm super excited for these two teams. I know you guys are. They were pretty much, I'd say, the top 2 teams from last year. I know USA didn't make the final and Canada did, but USA definitely put up a way better fight than Canada did against Korea. So this could be that huge matchup this year. So this was posted on the Team USA Overwatch Twitter. Roster reveal date: Team USA will be having a 4th of July barbecue party with the tryouts and friends. Live stream of the party and roster reveal will be on July 4th, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, guys. Let's go. This is hype. Only 2 more days to wait for this. I would read you guys the message that Team Korea posted, but it is in Korean, and for some reason Google Translate is not working for me. But Team Korea announcement is coming very soon. Could be within hours. I'm not really sure, but that will definitely be in the video tomorrow, guys. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to drop a like on it. Subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch content. Also, if you guys don't mind, go ahead and check out the link down below in the comments. It is a link to my recent Fortnite video. I'm honestly really proud of it. I think it's the best Fortnite video I've made so far, so I would love to get your guys' opinion on it. Be sure to go check it out, drop a like on it, leave a comment on it, and I'm out of here, guys. So thank you for watching. Peace.